Good morning, people of God. I hope all of you rested well. You know what was on my mind this morning that I want to talk about? Black people are not falling for the hokey doke manipulation anymore. They're not. How can I say it? The shackles of manipulation are being broken off of the minds of a lot of people, and especially the black folk when it comes to blindly voting for a certain group of people because that's what you were always told. These people are for you because of the color of your skin, or this party is for you because of the color of your skin. And people are not being brainwashed anymore. They're beginning to see through the witchcraft. They're beginning to see through the hearts, and they're beginning to even discern the true hearts and minds of a lot of these people who just say anything, and they just pull these publicity stunts, and they do whatever they need to do just to get themselves elected. And then the people are in the same conditions that they're in before. They're really not doing any behind the scene work, signing any new bills, actually making it better so that people can grow and their businesses can flourish, making it easier to get funding for businesses, making it easier for people to receive more from their investments and stuff like that. And so people are not being brainwashed by that anymore. They're looking at facts, and they're looking at the actions of what people do. They're examining a person's heart and their character through their actions. And what brought me to all of this is lately there's been a lot of people, especially a lot of people who um some have been elders. They try to push this thing on you. Are you voting for this particular person? And they try to persuade you on how you should vote, right? But when a lot of people are now looking at the facts and things that are really occurring, they're realizing these people's heart are not really for us. And what brought me to this is a lot of things I've been seeing lately, and a lot of things that people have been coming at me. I was there was an elder that I was speaking with who really seemed to get upset at the fact that he could not persuade me to hate Trump. I don't hate anyone. I don't hate Kamala. I don't hate Trump. I don't hate a human being. I've never even hated anyone that came up against me as an enemy. I don't know what it feels like to hate in my heart. I can disagree. We can have an argument. We can, have a communication where we're going back and forth and not really in agreement with each other. But as far as hating someone, I don't hate anyone, but I believe a lot of people's heart have turned dark. A lot of people have been brainwashed to hate Trump. A lot of people have been brainwashed to hate this man because of what they've seen in the media, and not looking at maybe some of the things in the situation that the country was in during the time that he was in office, how we weren't in such a situation as we're in now, how we did not never go to war under his leadership, and not only that, how he's been fought so much. There's been so much witchcraft going on in the media, as if people have been saying that this man would strategically set himself up to be shot in the ear. I think that is the most ignorant and dumb thing that anybody could think. Why would I set up where I could get shot in my ear, where it could just slightly miss my brain and take me out of here? That is ludicrous. That goes to show you just how much our people are so used to being brainwashed. While on the other hand, a party who I have always voted for my entire life, I've never voted for any other party other than the Democrat, right? Um, but that won't be happening again, because I'm not brainwashed, because I have eyes to think and to see, to think, I can understand stuff for myself, and I got ears to hear. And I can sit back and look at certain things and realize where this is just not right. This is just evil. Just like the young lady, I've shared her story in my community section, Sheree Peoples, if I pronounced her name right, where this woman had to be arrested in the midst. She's never had a criminal record before, not a part of any gangs, didn't do anything wrong, but she was arrested because of Kamala's law. She was arrested because of what Kamala pushed. And I believe that she was intentionally, she amongst many other black mothers were intentionally used as a sacrifice, as a publicity stunt to promote or provoke fear into the hearts of parents whose children were truant. And some of you who have children, I myself, working on the streets as a police officer, I've dealt with many children who were truant. I know school resource officers that deal with children who are truant. Some of them have to advocate and help these parents. Some of these children have grown bigger and taller and stronger than their parents, and they're very disrespectful. They're very rude. And some of these parents, they spend their time going to work day and night trying to put their kids to school, provide for what they need. So you cannot always hold the parents accountable, for what a lot of these children are doing. Some of these parents are doing the best that they could, you know and I've seen this firsthand. So I'm not just talking about what I think, I'm talking about what I know. There have been times when I have spent countless hours on the street getting paid and not getting paid, looking for children and finding those who ran away, and talking with them, trying to mentor them, trying to understand their minds, helping their parents who were frustrated, right? And so to put place a law to enact the law, which I think they have overturned it now, but that doesn't take away the damage or the trauma that many of these black parents have had, and parents in general, But I'm saying black parents because I see that's who a lot have been speaking out about it, right? So it's almost as if the black parents were targeted, right? And so to place to enact a law that puts so much oppression on these parents, and even though if it may have been overturned by now, that doesn't erase the trauma that these people suffered at the hands of the justice system. And then to go on and never acknowledge these people's story, never give them any kind of recompense. I believe back then I saw this lady speaking out about it 10 years ago, but she wasn't popular. Nobody really heard her voice. So it's like now God is allowing these things to come to the forefront. What was done in the dark is being brought to the light. And should we continue to go on and just overpass this? And you have some of our brothers and sisters who are very influential. They're using their platform. They don't care. They just want you to blindly support these people because they look like you. They just want you to blindly support them. And that's not done out of love. That's done just out of, just because they have devoted loyalty to these people, regardless of any type of corruption in their spirit, regardless of what they've actions, the pain and trauma that their actions have caused many of our people. They still want you to blindly support them. And many of our elders are trying to do the same things to us younger generation, trying to force us to see to support them. And they're spreading lies and trying to paint Trump as someone who's just so hateful and just so racist. My trust ain't in him. My trust ain't in nobody but God. But at the end of the day, if you have a spirit of righteousness in you, you should be able to render righteous judgment. Here go these attacks have been formulated against this man's life, and then to just keep going on like you just don't care. It is exposing the evil that's at hand within our system, and who and what Satan is using to bring forth his perfect will, or to try to enact his perfect will within the earth, and to have this sister Sheree Peoples, uh the world is going to continue to hear her story. It's going to continue to blow up. And to not this is a perfect time where I feel like leadership can take accountability and say, you know what, we got it wrong. We got it wrong. Sheree Peoples, I see you, sister. I'm sorry. I apologize. Sometimes we make laws or we do things that we think is right. And then once you see how this thing plays out, you see it's not really right. If you knew it, if it was really right, it would have never been kind of overturned and just kind of hush hush about it. No, the right thing that someone with integrity would do will go and get these people, hear them, acknowledge them, because you were the one who caused these people to suffer. This woman had a daughter who had sickle cell. She was caring for her child. Not only did it take an effect on her, but her daughter having to go through that stress now, having mom not there who was her primary caregiver, and now she's in jail. She's lost her job as a CNA. Now this daughter has to spend most of her time in the hospital. She ends up having a stroke. And I believe that's probably due to a lot of the stress she had to encounter while her mom, she even said, I felt like she was going through this because of me, you know? But the school even knew her medical condition, and all of her days she missed, they were already excused. And then you come in here as a prosecutor, as the head solicitor, and you enact this law, and you even said you push people to go out there and be strong like bulldogs, to reel them in. You didn't care. And so while we are still above ground in the earth, the rightful thing to do is not overlook it and not act like you don't see it and not keep going on with your little campaign and the following the people that really support you. See, a true leader takes accountability. And the right thing would be to do is acknowledge this woman and acknowledge the fact that, you know what, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. I messed up. I'm sorry. We can't go back and erase the past, but how do you feel that I can help you in this time? You know? And a lot of people are dealing with financial issues. Why not compensate this woman? Help her have a better life in this earth because of the trauma she suffered at the hands of the justice system, the corrupt justice system. They even tried to force her to take a plea deal. And then not on that, this is how you know she was sacrificed, right? Because when they went to arrest this woman out of her home, when they put the handcuffs on, she said when they brought her outside, all these cameras, people snapping pictures, a publicity stunt. See? They already knew they wanted to use her as a pawn to show other people. That's what they do. They take one person and they make an example out of you. But in this situation, the corruption of the law was exposed and nobody heard this woman's stories until almost 10 years later. And they got all the cameras there, all the news reporters there reporting it, putting all on the blogs, got this woman as a gang affiliation. This woman never know of a gang, never been in a gang. A heavy burden that caused oppression by your own people. And now you in a position want to be president and asking your people to vote for you. And everybody acting so dumb and oblivious, they can't see why many black folk are now coming off of that plantation, coming out of being brainwashed. And they're saying, you know what? Let's look at the work Trump has done. We hear what the media is saying. We hear what these people is getting in the media is telling us. He want to provoke war. He want to do this. But so let's go and look at what bills that he actually signed. Let's look at what he actually did, And I hear what Kamala has said about she's planning on giving first-time homeowners $25,000 or something like that. Look at the back end of that, people. I remember when Obama ran and he said that, and I voted for him, because we never had a black president. I thought what a great thing it would be to have a black president, right? So I voted for him. And he said that they were giving first-time homeowners $8,000 or something like that. It wasn't a gift. When I got my first tax bill, because I took that. When I got my first tax bill, then I realized you had to pay it back. So it wasn't really a gift. And so the way that you're selling people on this $25,000, don't say we're going to give. What you gave is you gave Ukraine and the people to fund this senseless war, which is that's the goal of Satan, to fund the war, to keep brothers and sisters fighting and killing each other. What y'all gave is over $200 million or $1 billion to fund this war. That was a gift because they don't have to pay it back. You see? So you're not giving the people anything. Once the people sign up and be receiving these things from you, they're going to get hit with, you got to pay this. It may be interest-free loan, but it was a loan. It wasn't really a gift. And then to go down to Augusta, Georgia, where that's not even a big bulk of the storm. Why you skip over upstate South Carolina? Why you skip over Florida? Why you skip over Tennessee? Why you skip over Asheville, North Carolina, where it is demolished? You go to the, Augusta, Georgia, that's just like an hour from me. I drive up in them parts. And so at the end of the day, you skip over all these places, and then when you go, you said you only have $750 to give to these people for aid. And your representative for FEMA says FEMA has no more money. But you just gave over 250, if I'm not mistaken, I could stand to be corrected, $250 million to the migrants. You put them in hotels. You brought them over here. I think a senator or somebody recently came out from an article I read last week or sometime. They came out and said a lot of these illegal migrants that have come over, now they seeing their names registered to vote illegally on the ballots. So what's that about? You see how things are steady being uncovered? And then you're fighting Trump so hard, like I never seen my little life in this entire earth. I never seen no president being fought this hard, prosecuting this man, disrespect, not even caring about the assassination that was on this man's ear. But then to see the spirit in him to get up and keep going, I know that the hand of God is doing something in that man's spirit. God has to be doing something in that man's spirit. I saw him go to this black church, and this brother said, Trump, we appreciate you for coming here. They said we invited Obama here, but he didn't come because we was too much in the hood. I forgot the name of the church. It was a church in the hood, but Trump went. And when they asked him if he whatever he was like, I think he said pray. He asked them to pray for him. If y'all know the name of the church, or what, y'all could put it in the community section, whatever. I took note of that. And see, people are back beginning to take note because they are tired of being oppressed. They are tired of being promised lies. When Trump did give money to the people, I paid attention to this. There were people who were struggling towards the end of while Trump was in office. There were people who were going through financial situations. He gave, I think it was during COVID or whatever, right? Trump gave money to the people, right? And so in my mind, I was sitting back, oh Lord, so what's going to be the back end of this? You're giving the money, so eventually they're going to have to pay it back, right? Because no president has ever just given the money to the people, right? Without it being, you got to pay it back in some kind of way. He sent out Trump checks to the people, and that benefited a lot of people, a lot of single mothers, a lot of people who were really struggling during this time. That benefited them. When he sent out the last check and you guys finally had took office, y'all cut the check. Y'all cut the check down. And then there was supposed to be another check coming, and y'all did refuse to give it to the people. But then I saw how you guys sent all of that money to Ukraine. To Ukraine. To Ukraine. And now you tell these people here who've been affected, who have lost everything. Many of these people have lost their the entire home. The infrastructure has been destroyed. These people don't even know where their property lines are at anymore. And you didn't get on camera saying, you know what, I am so sorry you're affected by this. We're going to put this amount to the side. We will rebuild this infrastructure. We will, help these people. We will make sure that all of these houses get rebuilt. We will do what we can do. You just said all we have is $750. And you're so sorry and you're glad that, people here who have stuff, they're coming together. That don't even sound like a leader of the nation. You've been very good at putting people in jail. And and then, going back to, thank you for reminding me of that. Biden, when they asked him, how do people make it out? He was like, what storm are you talking about? Clearly we already know he has dementia, right? I should think I shared it in my community section some months ago. No matter what you do to win, no matter what you do to secure a victory, God is the only one that can make you or break you. In that, if God is with you, he's with you, right? When God before you, no man can come against you. But when God is not with you, no matter how you secure your victory, and I believe it was an illegal victory, and nobody's going to change my mind about that, period. When God is not with you, you will be arrested. And you may not be arrested physically, right? But you can be arrested mentally. And so that is all that is about. That's a curse, right? You can't beat God, baby. You can't beat God. So clearly he has dementia. Nobody from the Democrat Party is trying to step up and say, you know what? You're not fit to continue leading. You can't do this. But everybody was trying to go so hard at impeaching Trump, though, even though he was of his sound mind. Was it the fact that his mind cannot be fully controlled? Was it the fact that he was outspoken? Was it the fact that he had a bit of rudeness about himself? Because he did have a bit of rudeness about himself. Because he speaks his mind. And when you are a free thinker and a free speaker, people will not like you, period. Now, do I agree with everything Trump does? No, I don't. When it comes to Trump, I believe that when it comes to giving the police immunity, I don't believe the police need immunity, right? I do believe that the police need funding. They need more money. They need to be able to pay higher salaries to attract new officers. There are a lot of good police officers out there, but then we also have a lot of bad apples. We've seen that in the George Floyd case. We've seen that in the Sandra Massey case, right? And so police don't need immunity. We all know. We, huh? Brian also see what storm they having fun. We also need to what was I saying? we police officers don't need immunity, right? And we've seen that in the Sandra Massey case. We've seen that in the George Floyd case. And so we all need to be held accountable when we are wrong. And not only that, Trump, you also have seen how corrupt our illegal system can be because you have experienced it, which also you can now resonate with a lot of black men who have also experienced this, who have also experienced injustices at the hands of corrupt officials and those who were in positions of authority. I myself have been a police officer for many years, and I have seen corruption. I have had to fight against corruption, but there are also a lot of good officers. I also am pro police, right? I am pro police. I support police because we need them. You know, you need police, and you don't think so until something pops off, and then you need the police. So the police should never be disfunded. I believe that's the trick of the enemy and the plan of the enemy, where you defund the police, and then when all kind of chaos and anarchy starts happening, you call order out of chaos, and then the government comes in and they take control, and that's how they bring about this whole plan of the enemy, right? And so if God puts you back there, Trump, then this is what I believe. And I'm speaking directly because I know these people see these things, or people from their team see these things. I don't believe that police need immunity. I believe that is a bad idea to do that. I believe that will lead into a lot, that will cause a lot of race wars on top of a lot of the tension that we already have in this land. But I do believe that police need more funding. I do believe that they need more support. They need to be able to pay themselves a higher salary for the jobs that they do. Their lives are on the line. But we also need to hold those who violate their oath of office. We need to hold them accountable as well, right? And so that's my standpoint on that. You know, all the other stuff, I'm pretty much in agreement with. Um, but it's just a sad time that we are living in, people. And I'm so glad that God is opening the eyes of his people, that people are able to look at facts and get out of their feelings and actually look at certain facts and discern people's actions and motives, and judge righteous judgments and not be brainwashed anymore to vote for someone because of their gender or their race. And not only that, put your trust in God. I think the more we lead towards God, even when you're, in positions of leadership, you need God even more. And you don't get it right all the time. So not being narcissistic or delusional, just continue to go on and be all happy go lucky, like everything is just fine. Like when they asked Biden, how were the people? And we, like I said, we know he's mentally not there, but he ended up saying the people are happy. And to not sit someone like that down, it just shows the level of integrity that my party lacks. A party that I voted for my entire life. It just shows the lego like that, like the integrity is just not there. And I am ashamed, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. I am ashamed and I am embarrassed, at just blindly supporting these people all my life. It's what I was taught growing up, you know um and so I just thank God for opening people's eyes where we can now judge righteous judgments. And you need God. And whenever we make a mistake, because even though when we do try to do the right things, sometimes you will make a mistake. And when you have good people supporting you, um, you gotta be listen to those people and not dishonor those people when you do have people in your corner that are supporting you and telling you the right thing. And when we make mistakes and when we pass laws and we see how they adversely affect people's lives, poor people who don't have the money to fight us back, you should humble yourself. He that is greatest among you shall be a servant. And you should take accountability and say, I did this and I'm sorry. Once you admit that, who gonna check you, boo? Who else can keep holding something over your head when you take accountability of it? And I believe we can start by acknowledging this sister Sheree Peoples, her story, and also the other mothers who were impacted and been unlawfully and legally arrested, because their children were not in school. And in her particular situation, her child had sickle cell. She was in out of hospital. Her mother was her only caregiver, and her mother was woken up and taken out of her home in handcuffs, and all of the media and everybody was there on standby to take this woman's picture, to write up stories that were lies and make this woman look like she was a gang member and her daughter was in a gang. And even though they knew this woman's daughter, when they found out this woman's daughter had sickle cell and she was actually in the hospital, never been in a gang, the lady don't know a gang, they still tried to force her to commit to a plea bargain. Why would you take a plea bargain when you're not guilty? Because that enters you in as guilty, and then they can show justification on their side, you know? So this woman deserves to be recompensed. And, you know, I think Kamala needs to acknowledge this lady. She probably never will, you know, but at the end of the day, her story is going to continue growing. People are going to continue to hear it, and the eyes of people are going to continue to be open. And there are a lot of Black people who are not going to blindly vote for you because of the color of your skin or your race. You know, you can build yourself up just as big as you want to build. You can have the support of sororities or fraternities and all of that, and God is still in control. And you can do everything you could do to win an election. And just as we saw how God allowed the mind of Joe Biden to be arrested, he can have yours arrested as well. The thing is about humbling ourselves and submitting to God. Renounce those things that are hidden. Repent. Be a new person. Be a good person for real. Humble ourselves. All of us have to do that, right? All of us have to do that. And so people are not blinded anymore. They're not going to be just blindly voting for somebody because of the color of their skin. You know, people want to live happy, peaceful lives. They want to be out of oppression. They do not want the law. They don't need the law to come and oppress them. They don't need that anymore, right? God is always going to be with his people, regardless of what. You know, we've seen that happen from biblical times. Sennacherib was really big, was a big and mighty man, and he kept bullying the children of Israel. He kept bullying them, threatening them, telling them how powerful he was, showing them what he's done over here, what he's done over there. But then God showed us. Hezekiah only submitted himself to God, and the power of God showed up. You understand? I know what the power of God can do. I know what it's like to have people surrounded by people who are in positions of authority, and because they you don't think like them, and you disagree with the wrong that they're doing, so now they have targeted you, and they're trying to make you feel some type of way, and they're whispering about you so everyone can mistreat you. Yet these people hold badges and guns, and they're in positions of authority. And I've seen the power of God show up to defend me personally many times. I don't fear what man can do. The Bible says, don't fear what man can do. Fret not thyself a man who can kill the body but can't kill the soul. The life is in the spirit, baby. I've seen what people can do. Going back to the Bible time, when Ammon, Moab, and Edom, they were three large governmental armies teamed up to come against the children of Israel. They wanted to destroy them. They teamed up and made themselves very mighty. And I seen the hand of God move where those people didn't even have to lift a finger. And so I want you to know, this is the time to humble yourself and not keep going on in pride. Not keep going on in pride. And everybody want to be trying to paint Trump as a racist, trying to paint Trump as a... No, Trump was a rich white man who grew up very privileged, who did not have to know what it feel like to be oppressed, who didn't know what it feel like to be in poverty. So he say what he want, he do what he want, he own business, have friends with many rappers. Many of the rappers wanted to be like him. Black rappers, they were friends. But then as Trump began to run for something he never run before, I believe I see the Spirit of God humbling him. See? Because now you being opposed by people who got more money, by people who are in higher power, by people who keep their faces hidden. Now you being opposed by this law that you never had to fight the way you had to fight before. See, that does something to humble you. See? That humbles you. That gives you a change of heart. Now you see and feel what these folk have been talking about for all these years that you never had to feel before. Oh, glory. You see? So anyway, I'm going to just stop right there. That's just my little 2 cents. It's what I said. It's what I stand on 10 toes down. It's what I believe. That's all I'm going to talk about right now. This video almost 30 minutes long, but we humble ourselves. See? We got to humble ourselves. I don't care how big you is. You could be in that White House and still not enjoy it. I know what I'm talking about now. See? There's a God that sit high and look low. Ask Biden if he could reverse the hands of time and go back to his latter age. Would he do what he have done? Would he desire that position so much to get it how he got it? I bet you he'd rather have his mind back. I bet you he'd rather have his strength back. See? God is in control. He created us. He counts and numbers the days that these hearts is gonna pump. See, only he can restore what man can't do. We got doctors. We thank God for our doctors and those in the medical professions who try. You see, but God can restore and do what man can't do, even when it comes to these old bodies right here. You understand the power of God is real, baby. I seen it work in me, through me, around me. God is in control, and he gonna stay in control. And the only way to win is with him. Lauren here said, how you gonna win when you ain't right within? So now you got the time. Get your heart right. Don't let pride lead you. That's a Leviathan spirit, baby. You may get the backing of your, you know, your sorrows and all of that. You may get the backing of some people who's blind and gullible. Some people who's promised certain positions and they want what they can get. They want to get that lift up when you get in your position if you get there. See? But I come to warn you. Humble yourself before God and do the right thing. Everybody. Stop trying to create spaces where you do this thing illegally, trying to hinder your opponent, using the law at your hand to hinder your opponent. That should have opened a lot of people's eyes. But you have a lot of people who still blinded. If I'm running a race against somebody and I got to go and do all kind of corrupt things and to hinder you, I don't want that victory, baby. Let me stay where I'm at in my little spot. I'm all right. If I can't run clean and you can't run clean and the people can't just see me for who I am and choose who they like the best, I ain't gonna do nothing to trying to hurt you. Cause see, that me getting that thing with my own strength. If God don't give it to me, I don't want it, baby. I don't want it. Because see, God will open door that no man can close. You understand? And when God give you something, when you shine in that light, you still going to have opposition because there's a lot of darkness in the earth. See? Those of us who's empath, you want everybody to love. You want everybody to get on one accord. That be our weakness sometimes. Because you let everybody in and some of the people that ain't full of dark and them be the one that hurt you. See? But stay in a pure place, in a pure heart of love. If God don't give it, I don't want nothing that don't come from God. What come from God and what we do for God, that what gonna last. People do all these crooked things in this earth for power, for money, for material thing. And when he called this spirit out of this flesh died, do whatever they want to do. They put it 6 feet under. The spirit there. Now everything you do, your book sealed. Them the books that's written, the books that the angels is writing, them the books that matters. See, now you go before the Father. You decide whether you're going to be in the celestial, terrestrial. I know I've said it wrong. Celestial kingdom. Or whether you're going to be doomed to be tormented until that cycle comes back around where you get another chance to get it right. That's how merciful God is. See? That's how merciful God is. Do the right thing. Acknowledge these people that you have hurt. You have broke up their families. You have taken away their freedom and their rights of liberty to be free. How easy it is for people to put people in a jail and just go about their business. Don't you know that stuff come back on you and your families? I know this lieutenant one time. He let a lot of wicked things go on under his leadership, made a lot of money while he was in that position. The minute he retired, boom, he couldn't live with himself. What an awful thing it is. You can't live with yourself. Don't we know that before? Because there's nothing new under the sun. Judas. What Judas did after he betrayed Jesus for that little piece of change. He couldn't even enjoy it. See? What somebody do when they go and they obtain a victory illegally? And then they get in that position. They did all that illegal stuff to get in that position, to hold their opponent down, to steal from their opponent. And now their mind have been arrested. God show you his power right there. If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from them and I will heal their land. Somebody put that scripture down there. That just my little 2 cents. God is in control. See, it don't have to get sour. It don't have to go real bad. It can be fixed if people would just humble themselves and listen. See, that's the problem. People get in positions where they don't want to listen no more. I remember I called a meeting with my entire command staff, from the chief all the way down, because of things that were going on, things I see need to be changed. You need to stop doing this. They get mad. We ain't never had a meeting with just a regular officer. I said, I'm not regular, I'm different. See? And when they called me there, it wasn't really to, they were going to be open to be receptive. They already had their mind made up what they want to talk about. So it wasn't to listen. It was to try to pull up my stats and my progress, but they still ain't had a leg to stand on. See? I try to warn you. Bible say warning come before destruction. Then when God moved me and give me my own business, all hell broke loose, baby. All hell broke loose. Revolving doors. You don't see nobody with experience and with wisdom on the streets no more. All these young new people. Some of these people is just very scared. Very scared. I remember one time I was passing through coming home. I guess the alarm must went off. This young officer was at a place. You could tell he was scared. How he was looking. Must be had to go check the property. I pulled up and shine my light. I said, I shine my light. You go ahead. I said, I'm so and so. I told him who I was. Oh, okay. I appreciate it. People don't really know what to do. I remember one time I was coming home. You know, I had my truck and my trailer hook up to my truck. A big accident on a busy road. The young officer there, the officer, one car was stopped. The others could drive. I said, the first thing you want to do is just clear the roadway. I said, y'all that can drive, go ahead and pull up the street up there. You know, pull out the roadway so traffic can keep going. And I said, this car that hit the Zeba, I said, I'll pull your car in the back of my trailer and move you up there. I said, you got the drawing height so you can draw it up. She said, yeah, I appreciate all of that. Young girl. You see? Fast things. You want to keep traffic moving, especially when it's busy. People got to go to and from. But anyway, y'all have a blessed day. That's my little 2 cents. We got to humble ourselves. And this is for the leadership. This message is really, for Kamala, for Trump, for your team members. Humble ourselves before God and do the right thing. This lady, Sheree Peoples, you can make a start with her. Her story should be acknowledged and she should be recompensed, right? But I'm just a nobody. Y'all have a blessed day now.